Hello everybody and welcome back, and let us now add the download and upload function to our reverse shell. So let us actually first of all do our server, since last time we did first the reverse shell. So right now let us actually code the part of our server. We will have to add both of these functions in the both server and both reverse shell, so they will perform the separate tasks. So for example, if I send the download command, the target, that means that we want to get a file from the target, so the target will have to open that file and read its contents and send its content back to us, and we will have to write those contents that we receive back to a file on our own Kali Linux machine. That means the same, just reverse function for the upload command. So then we as a Kali Linux machine will have to read the file and send the file context back to the target PC, and target PC will have to write to a file that it will create on the target machine. So let us start off by coding it on our server. What we want to do is add another elif statement right here. So elif, and let's actually use a simple use of the command. So we will use just upload and download as the command for downloading the files. So in our server side, we will just have to specify download, set the empty space, and then the path to the file we want to download, or the name of the file. So let's start off with the download. So else if command that we specify, and let's count the letters of the download. So it has 8 letters. So if the first 8 letters of the commands are download, which basically means this part right here, so equals equals download, then 2 dots, what our server wants to do is it wants to actually open the file with the same name as the file that we want to download, and we have to wait for the target to send us back the contents of the file that we want to download. And then that content that we receive, we will write to our file that we opened. So we will use a syntax for opening files, which is a little bit different than the one we covered in Python Basics, but it means the same. So with open, and what we want to open is the name of the file that we specify in the path. So with open command, and then the 9, and then on to the end of the command, which basically means, so let's say the command is, let me just type it right here. So let's say the command is download image.jpg, for example, or let's say text.txt. The first 8 letters, this will check if the first 8 letters of the command is download, then it will proceed with this command, and then it will open a file with the name from the 9th character. So first 8 are download, the 9th character is the empty space, and then from it will open a file with this name, which is what we want. So right now let us delete this and specify the name of the file. So we open from 9th character. We want to write to it. Since we are the server, we want to write to that file as soon as we receive its content. We can name it as file. So this is basically the same as this command right here. So file equals open command 9 from write b. This is the same command as this one. I just wanted to use this syntax to show you that you can use something like this as well. So you can use whatever you want. I will use this one. Now you might be asking, since we didn't cover, what is this WB? This B basically stands for bytes. Now why are we using bytes? Well, basically since we want to receive the contents of the file in bytes. So if we didn't specify this, we would for example only be able to download the text files, and we will not be able to download the executables, images, and other files. We want to be able, but we want to do that, so we want to be able to download any executable from target PC, any image for target PC, any song from target PC. That's why we specify right here WB. So we open it as file, that is the name of our variable, which we will, or basically of our file. And here we want to tab it in a little bit. And right now we want to receive actually the contents of the file. So we will just name it the same as here. We will name it the result the same as in the previous command. So let me just show you right here what we need to type. What we want to type is the same as this. So result equals reliable underscore receive. So what this will do is basically it will let us receive all the contents of the file, and those contents we want to write to a file. Now, in order for our file not to crash, we need to use a library called base64. The base64 library allows us to actually encode or decode the encoded base64 data and actually write it to a file. Now, I will show you what I mean. So first of all, file.write, type it right here. We know this command, we covered it. And then we want to use base64.b64 decode. And then we want to decode the result that we received. And then put the two brackets right here. Now you might be asking, why are we decoding something that we didn't even encode yet? Well, we will encode it in the part of the reverse shell code. So basically in our reverse shell code, once we get the download function, we will actually first encode the data of our file and then send it to our server. Then the server will receive it, and then it will write the file that it will write the decoded data of our result. So this is basically everything we need to specify. Right now, basically we can add the upload function right now. But before we do that, let us actually add the download function to our reverse shell. So you can compare these two, and then it will make a lot more sense to you. So we will open it like this. Then we will open another window and enlarge it a little bit so we can make it this big. Go to our Python reverse and nano reverse shell. In the shell part, we want to basically perform a similar thing, so just go right here. Below the cd command, write another elif statement. The elif statement will be the same, so else if command from the to the 8th letter, so we want to specify to the 8th letter equals download. What we want to do then is basically right here we want to actually open the file since it is on target PC, and the reverse shell will also be a target PC. So what we want to do is basically just write with open open brackets command, and then the same as right here as in the server code. But the difference right here is we want to open it for reading. Since it is our file, we want to read from it, then put the contents, then basically send the contents of the reading file to the server. So read bytes, and we open it same as file, so it makes more sense. We tab this in, and we want to reliable send the encoded data. What we will do is we will use base64, and instead of base64 decode, we use here base64 encode. And what we want to send, we are sending the contents of the data, which we can get with this function, so file.read, and then we close 3 brackets, or 2 brackets, let me just see. Yeah, we actually close 3 brackets right here. So let us compare these two so it can make actually more sense. First of all, let's go to the server. The server sends the download and then the path to some file, or basically the server sends download and then the name of some file. Then where the command gets sent to the reverse shell opens that file for reading, it reads its contents, it encodes the contents of that file and sends the contents back to the server. The server receives the contents of the file into this variable right here, and it has to decode the contents first before writing it to a file. So we use the function within a function, so this function in the brackets will get executed first, and then we will write the decoded result to our file. So simple as that. Let us save both. Let us save both of these. So Control O, and then right here also Control O. And what we want to do right now is also add the upload function. So we want to upload the files as well. Let's start off with the server. So let's add another else-if statement, else if command, and then first 6 letters, since that's how much upload has, equals upload. What we want to do is basically, let me just find this. Okay, so we want to actually, what we want to do is we want to actually run a try and accept rule. Now, while we are writing try and accept rule, is basically sometimes maybe some file won't be able to get downloaded or uploaded. So we want to actually, first of all, let us try to open that file. Since we are right now on the server, we want to open that file for reading so we can send its contents. So with open, and then we perform the same thing, so command, and then from 7th letter, the reason why we are using from 7th letter is because upload and empty space add to the 7, and everything after that will be the name of the file. And then reading, since we are right now on the server and we're uploading, we want to read this file in bytes, and let's call it as fin. So this will be the name of our file. Then what we want to do is perform the same function as in the previous, so reliable send, and we want to encode the data, base64, b64 encode fin.read. Oops, I'm missing a bracket. Let me just enlarge this so you can see it a little bit better. So here it is. What we are doing is basically opening a file for reading and then sending its encoded data to there. Now, in order for us to actually be able to, let me just go to the back of this. In order for us to actually be able to know if the file was successfully downloaded, let's actually add something a little bit different right here. So let's add an accept rule. So accept, and we will actually add a variable called failed. And let's actually print that variable to be Windows. It doesn't even matter, just print anything you want in that variable so you know that it actually failed to download that file. So failed to upload, pardon me, not download, failed to upload. And we want to actually reliable send base64 .base64 encode, and then we want to basically send the failed variable to the target, so failed. Now the reason why we're doing this is basically if you mistype a name of the file and then it will hang, it will basically break the connection, since it will try to open a file on your Kali Linux machine which doesn't even exist. So it will try to upload a file to the target system that you don't have in your directory, and it will hang on the connection and you will not be able to execute anything else. So we want to send this, and it will basically write on the target this, and we will know that the file failed to download, and then we can actually specify the correct name and delete the file that actually contains this string failed to download. Now, since we added this on the upload, since we added the upload function to the server, we want to also add the upload function to the reverse shell.py. So let us do the same. We want to add elif command from the 6th letter, so to the 6th letter equals upload. We want to open a file for writing, since we are receiving the contents. So with open command 7 from as writing bytes, as fin, so name it the same as in the server code so you can actually know to what it is referring to. It makes more sense. And what we want to do is basically result equals reliable receive. We are receiving the information of the file and we want to write the decoded part of the file. So file write base64 b64 decode, and then the result is decoded, so result. So let me just check if this is it. Let's try to save it first. So here, let us check. We open a file for reading and then we send its contents. Here we receive its contents and then we write to the file the decoded contents. So this should be good. If the file fails to open, or if we specify a wrong name to the file, it will write failed to upload to the file that we upload to the reverse shell. So let us see if this will work. We save both of these. I hope it works. So let us just, we do not need two terminals anymore. Let us enlarge this one and let us compile our program. So let's just search for the command. Here it is. We compile the reverse shell. And I just remembered that we actually did add the base64 library to both of our programs. So we have to actually delete all of this. So delete it before we actually compile it again. And let's actually add it first to the reverse shell.py. We have to add the base64 library. So import base64. We save. We also add the same to the server. Import base64. Now let's see if we used another library that we need to import. I don't think so. We only use the base64 library. So save, and right now we can compile it once again. And we should be good to go. While this is compiling, let us plug in our USB drive. And now let us copy the reverse shell to the USB drive. So ls move reverse shell to the media root USB drive. We move the shell and we delete everything else. We can run the server right away, listening for incoming connections. So we are listening, we unplug the USB drive and we open it in our Windows machine. Right now, let us copy the file and let us run the file. The file executed, and right now let's wait for a few seconds in order to receive the connection back. Now what we will try to do is we will try to download this image right here, which is the Master Ethical Hacking. Let's rename it so we don't specify the entire name. Let's name it just hacking or hacking.jpg. And we can see if we are going to be able to successfully download this image from our target system. So here we have the shell opened. So let's see who am I, and let's type there to see the desktop. Here we have the hacking.jpg, and let's actually try to download. So let's use the function download hacking.jpg. If I press here enter, we can see that it executed normally, and let's see if we can actually still execute the command. So our shell is still running, and let's see where did we download our function, or pardon me, our image. So let's go to our files. We open our files, or let me just go to our places, not files. So places, computer. What path is that? That it should be in the root directory. And then we go to the Python files. Let me just find where they are. Python programs, reverse, and here we have the hacking.jpg image. We successfully were able to download it from the target PC. Now we do not need to download only the JPEG files. We can also try to create first the file on target PC. So let us clear the screen. Oops. CLS. Here clearing screen is not the same as in the Linux. So let me just type once again. We are the desktop directory, and let us echo hello world into the test.txt. And we type here once again, and let us see if we actually echo the good thing. So test.txt, here it is, hello world. And now let's try to also download a text file. So download test.txt. It finished really fast. right now we can delete the test.txt from our target since we don't need it there anymore. As we can see, we successfully deleted it with del test.txt. And right now, if I just close this and open the places once again, and I want to see if we successfully downloaded the text file as well. So let's go once again to the root, Python programs, and then reverse. Here's the test.txt, we open it, and in the test.txt we have a string hello world. So everything works fine with the download command. So we now know, let me just see why it bugged out. We now know that we can successfully download files from target PC, whether they are JPEG, PNG, text.exe, or basically any other file format. But right now what we want to check is if the upload function works as well. In order for us to upload a file, we need to make a file. So let us open another terminal. So let me just click right here, open a different terminal, enlarge this a little bit while our shell is running in the background. So cd python programs reverse. Make sure to have a file in the same directory as our reverse or as our server that is running. So first of all, we want to delete this test.txt and hacking since we don't need it on our directory right here. And let us nano simple string file. So we will call it hello.txt. Oops, hello.txt. And here we will type, how is your day going? We will save it. We have here hello.txt. We can close this right now. And let us try to upload hello.txt. We press enter. We check if our shell is still running. It's running good. It executes the commands. We go to our desktop and we can see a file called hello.txt that we successfully uploaded. And it contains the string that we specified in our Kali Linux machine. Now, this file can also be either image or executable, or basically you can upload a different virus or malware or anything you want. With our reverse shell, it doesn't have to be a txt file, so let's delete it. And right now what we have is a fully working reverse shell that can upload, download commands, that has a persistence running, that has self-copied it, and then basically performs all the system commands and also performs the connection every 20 seconds. So we have a pretty good reverse shell for now, but we will also try to add some other functions as well to it. So that would be about it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!